Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. I talked earlier in the broadcast regarding North Korea and the fact that I'd gone on to talk about China being the critical cog in the wheel here in terms of this negotiation. So North Korea's got nothing to negotiate with. Their GDP is so small it's negligible in the world economy. It's practically zero. And as far as developed countries, it's by far the worst. By far the worst. These people have the technology to develop nuclear weapons but can't feed their people. People at the highest echelons are beginning to starve to death. They are not, I mean, it is a country in turmoil. No matter what the pictures show you, they are in bad shape, dire straits. And so, but I want to talk more about it because there was an article written by Larry Kelly of Town Hall, and he really showcases what I've been talking about for quite some time, that it's the American economy that is going to be used as Donald Trump's biggest weapon. Anybody listening to this program, I've been saying this from the moment Donald Trump came on the scene, particularly when he became the Republicans' candidate. I said, Donald Trump will be different because he's a businessman and he doesn't care. He's a non-warrior type. He knows what weapons there are in his arsenal. And I said to everybody, Donald Trump will see the American economy as his nuclear weapon. And that's exactly what he's done. But I want to read a clip from what Larry wrote because it explains this thing in such great detail into a level that I just tell you, it warms my heart to give this information to you. Donald Trump is brilliant in how he's taken foreign policy and he's just spinning it like a Harlem Globetrotter spins a basketball, man. It just never ends. It's just bloop, 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 bloop. It's easy as can be. And imagine, Barack Obama trying to spin a basketball in there. He gets one revolution and then it's off of his finger. That's essentially what you had under his policy. Donald Trump makes this look easy, but I want you to hear it from somebody else who noticed the same thing I noticed and is giving a little bit more detail around the what China is doing to North Korea and why this is so important. And I want to remind you, when I was on Steve Hilton's show, I said that Donald Trump, North Korea's got such a small economy, you can't punish them anymore. We've done everything we can with sanctions. And so the question is, are those sanctions working? Because the only thing that Kim Jong-un has left is to threaten to blow things up. China will never let a nuclear weapon get launched from North Korea. There is no freaking way. So we're negotiating with China. And I said this on the show. We're not negotiating with Kim Jong-un. He's been told, you get your little chubby butt in that meeting and start behaving. And he's being told this by the Chinese. So here's what Larry Kelly writes. Despite what seemed thawing of the crisis occasioned by the South Koreans hosting of the Winter Olympics, the Chinese now appear to be more aggressively cooperating with the U.S. in its operation dubbed Maximum Pressure, which, according to Vice President Pence and others, encompasses the most aggressive sanctions ever imposed on North Korea. Now, let me tell you what happened before. They found out that the North Koreans and the Chinese were mismarking their ships and trying to do trades of stuff in midstream and all that. And the U.S. contacted President Xi and said, look, you better get yourself together or we're going to penalize you in America. So the Chinese completely capitulated. Now, going on, the article says this. A cadre of brave Wall Street Journal reporters recently traveled to the far north of North Korea to a remote area which borders both China and Russia. They found that trade between North Korea and its largest trading partner and benefactor, China, has come to a near halt. Near the far North Korean city of Rason, at a checkpoint on the Chinese border, the intrepid crew of the Wall Street Journal reporters met a Chinese businessman going to check on his equipment stuck in his garment factory there. His factory closed in November after China began enforcing the UN ban on North Korean exports. His plant shut down and terminated the jobs of 200 North Koreans who formerly sent their half their paychecks to the government. The reporters found that there were more than a dozen garment factories like this that were shut down, and found that thousands of North Koreans in the seafood industry whose factories were shuttered had lost their jobs. Now that's just the beginning of this. These are just clothes. These are basic clothes Chinese can make cheap, cheap, cheap. They were employing North Koreans to help, get those people to send money back to the government so they could continue to fund whatever it is that they're doing. They're not making a whole lot of money. It's a subsistence level existence at this point. And now China is taking it seriously and saying, okay, this is going to end. It's down at that level. We're not talking about, trucks and armaments and things like this. We're talking about the basics. Final point. They said they learned that Chinese border guards even stopped traders from allowing small personal allowances of personal cigarettes from leaving the North Korean prison state. Nothing, folks. They have tightened down the noose on the neck of the North Koreans. And if you want to know why the Kim Jong-un has said, I need to come to negotiate, Donald Trump didn't ask. Kim Jong-un is begging. And let me tell you, we've already had Secretary of State Tillerson and others, and somebody, I forget it, maybe it was Chief of Staff, say, we're not giving any concessions to them. We're going to sit out. We're going to hear what they have to say. And then Donald Trump's going to say, fine. If you meet these criteria and you do things by the book, we'll start to let the spigot off. But it isn't going to be, we're going to let the spigot off of you. It's going to be, we will allow China to deal with you. If you don't, you're doomed. Let me tell you, Kim Jong-un has to have the biggest fear in his life. I was watching that parade, and there was a general walking behind him with a sword and, goose stepping as Kim Jong-un was walking, just along the troops. And, well, don't be surprised one of these days if a general, that guy doesn't take one of those knives and just go run it right in the back of Kim Jong-un in front of God and everybody if things don't improve in North Korea. This is huge, everybody. And this is foreign policy showing what can be done with it when you understand how to work with it. God, I look at how the left have just squandered everything that Trump is using, and it just makes so much sense. But, not in their hands because they're idiots.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.